Wait a minute.
Okay.
This is the Edition Unfiltered podcast.
Oh, oops. I didn't realize I was speaking in a foreign language. I'm guessing none of you really understood what that meant and are completely confused and wondering if it's your audio that's gone haywire. Well, you're lucky it's not your audio, but that is exactly how people feel when they move across the country. I know that's how I felt. I didn't understand what was happening. I was really confused. I was wondering if it's me that's completely out of place. But it is a trait that everyone that moves to another country, moves to another place, moves to another city feels. It's just constant confusion until you stop being confused. It's been 6 years. I'm still, most of the time, constantly confused. I'm constantly wondering, what the am I doing here? How did I get here? So I asked myself those questions so many times. And it just so recently happened that I've started to ask myself, what the hell is happening? And this happens to be more so at work. And obviously, it wouldn't be me if I didn't give you a random anecdote. So here it goes. It just so recently happened at work with my coworkers. Age ranges are from, well, there's only one other 25-year-old, but the rest of them are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and some are actually in their 60s. So they've clearly been here a long time. We've all gone out for dinner and we're sitting at the table and they're laughing at jokes that I don't understand because they were talking about these ads had showed up when they were kids or the shows they used to watch as kids. Now, some of that stuff does overlap, but most of the time I had no idea what they were saying. So I'd laugh and then I'd be either Googling it or just being like, question mark. And then I would say a phrase that seems completely made for a situation like this. Please speak English for the rest of us that don't understand. Fitting, isn't it? Yeah. And we have a guest today who's going to talk more about this on her journey from moving to Kenya to Canada and all the stuff that she had to go through, how she's now thriving in the country. So, welcome to Edition Unfiltered, Unnati. Let's get this show on the road. You're here to take us on a journey from being in the middle, or I'd like to say the heart of Africa, now on the way to the west side, which is known as the coldest place to live on. Not Russia, I mean Canada in terms of North America. How did you decide that Canada is where you wanted to go? You have the mic. So let's get this show on the road.
Thank you for having me, first of all. Most of the people who know me, I'm the normal Nairobi girl. I am currently in Canada. I came for my studies, and along with that, I did my studies and I am doing my full-time work in recruitment. I was actually applying to multiple countries. I applied in Australia, I applied UK, and I applied Canada. And I was like, whichever comes first, I will take a go with that. And I started in 2015 after I graduated with my bachelor's.
So you graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2015?
Yeah, in Indian college.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was on behalf of University of Sunderland. So technically, England Institute.
Right. Yeah.
So I had hopes that, I'll get in the same college for masters. But my situations that time weren't best on my side because my father fell sick. So I had to let go everything. I had to cancel everything. I had to withdraw my applications basically. In 2017, Canada again gave me an offer because I wrote to them, right? Right now I need to keep my study at hold due to this situation. So those 2 years for me, okay, now I don't think I'm going to be doing my master's. I need to get proper work. So I started working and basically a typical Nairobian life, right? Monday to Friday work, and then Saturday, Sunday you're out. And I think you know how well the Nairobi life is. So
I do.
In 2017, I think in September, Canada wrote back to me saying that your offer is still valid. So, but this is a reminder. And for me, it was some good news. I was hoping maybe from UK also I'll get. So I wrote to them because I knew that, my chances there is better because I've already studied in the institute. I know how it works.
Right.
The scholarship would be easier for me because here also I was on like scholarship as well. But then they said that you already withdrew your application, so we'll not be able to. Then I was like, oh, okay.
UK is like that anyway. They have too many problems.
No, right now, even I feel that I'm glad I didn't go there. So then coming to 2018, I still didn't apply at that time because I knew at the back of my head I had time till 2019. Then 2018, September, and I was like, okay, now I have nothing to do here. And I'm like literally have to make a decision and I have an opportunity already. So why not? So mid May or April 2018, I applied to different colleges. I selected Humber College. So I Googled it. And the good thing for me was it was at the lakeshore. My institute was near the lakeshore. So I think I just fell in love just from the pictures. I don't know if it's real, not real. Like, I don't know. I know my friends used to send me snaps as well. So I'm like, this is your college. So I'm like, for sure, I'm going to be taking this institute. And luckily I got in. So November of 2018, I came to Canada. And the day I was leaving from Kenya, I know that feeling, when you step in the airport, I don't know. I actually, if I remember it right now, I say it's like that. If I had to make a movie, I think I would put this clip first. I had a whole flashback of what I'm leaving back. Like, I don't know if it happens to other people or not. I've never even asked to anyone that does it happen to you because you're leaving literally everything at the back. The main thing was family because I've stayed in a joint family. Friends, and then I'm like thinking I'm thinking that, oh, am I going to make new friends? Am I going to like get things done? How is it going to work for me? You're still not aware of things are very different. Like, of course, because it's Nairobi in Canada, like the entire lifestyle is different.
Yes.
You just come to somewhere you do not know anything, and it makes you feel shit.
Yeah, it does. So I have a question with what you said. When you were leaving, did you intend to come back, or was it just with the intention that now that I've left, I'm going to stay and live in Canada? That's going to be my home now. Was that the intent?
No. So my intention was, and I even promised it to everybody back home as well, that give me 2 years, 2020, I will be back. I will be finishing my studies and I will be back. But I think when COVID hit, they actually reduced courses. And for me, advantage was they already reduced courses for me from term 1 because I already did it in college here in Nairobi, right? So they removed a lot of courses for me. So like from 15 courses, I was down to only 6 courses. So I was literally done.
wow.
So by 2019, April, I was literally done with school. So everybody thought that, now she's going to come back. But I don't think I just didn't have that thing that, no, I should go back. Like I really felt at that time that maybe I will make my life here now. So yeah, it was pretty hard. I know a lot of people had expectations that, a lot of people also still do it, like come here, study, work for a while and go back. Because according to them, there's nothing here for them because they have their entire family back home. They have like a life there back home, which, well, I know that I still say if I get a big opportunity back home in Nairobi, if I get a job which I want to, I'm ready to pack my bags in.
Yeah.
I don't think that time has ever come. Or I don't think it's going to be, possible like just that way.
Yeah, the opportunities in Kenya itself are very limited to a bunch of people. Unlike in Canada, for you, opportunities are endless.
Right.
So it makes sense. If you get a good one, I'm ready. But until then, I'm staying still.
Feel right,
Yes.
of course. Yeah. And in Nairobi, we can say via connection, you can get through it. Here, you have it. There, you don't have to rely on anybody, like, because of this person, you got this job or something like that. Here, you're able to do any kind of job. Like, I remember when I came, And the first day when I landed at the airport, so it was my cousin's brother-in-law picking me up. So I was to stay with them for like a week and then
Uh-huh.
enter into like a paying guest thing or with friends, like however it would suit. So I came that day and there was this, at the airport itself, there's this lady, she's standing with a billboard saying international students, if you need a job in Subway, $16 per hour, you are allowed to do the many hours you want. So me, being, I went there and I'm like, I just landed. Why not just, and it's at the airport. Like, why not? Because you get paid more at the airport. So I remember that time the minimum was like $14 and
Uh-huh.
getting 16. Like, why would I miss it? So she gave me her contact and she told me, settle down. But in the next 2 weeks, give me a call on this number. She took down my sister's brother in law's number actually, because I didn't have any SIM card or
Yes.
anything. Then in literally 2 weeks, she messaged him saying that there was a girl. Is she still interested in it? And I'm able to provide her transport because I'm sure she's still new and she's getting her bus pass done and everything. And without me even saying a yes, he already said a yes because he's like, this opportunity you're not going to get. People are not this generous here.
Uh-huh.
They're not. So in fact, this third week, I was already working at the airport as a Subway sandwich maker, making more than
Sandwiches.
so I was like, I really didn't mind. I came here with the open. I knew that I'm not going to get my field job just immediately. I need to finish my studies and then get into it. I think I did it 2 years after college. I did it like part time. So I used to call the auntie that, oh, I need some money. So she'll be like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will you be able to do 12 hours full? And I'll be like, yeah, because anyways, I didn't have much to be done. It's the winter.
Mm.
So I started into that, did it for like 2.5 years. When I finished, I think when I came here, the first week itself was like, okay, yeah, I'm in a new country. Now what? Like, and remember that these guys are busy people, right? Like they're working. They
Mhm.
have a 9 to 5 job. Their kid is in daycare. Both husband and wife are working. So for me, I was like home the whole day. And she told me, do not get out of the house because you don't have a bus pass, neither you have a driving license right now. And that whole week for me was very frustrating that where have I come? This is not right. Like I need things to be done. At least I need a phone. Like I didn't have that guidance, how I can get my phone
Yeah.
done, how I can get my legal paperwork, study permit, something done. I didn't have anything. Then my orientation was on the first week of December. Lucky enough that that's the time where my college guided me through that these are the things you need prepared before you start on your first day. And for your phone, there's a phone booth guy there. I was like, whatever makes it simple for me. I need a phone right now. It's like I feel lifeless.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you be on WhatsApp and Instagram, like, and just Wi-Fi? If I'm going out, I have no connection. If somebody has to reach me, I
They
don't have.
can't.
Yeah, luckily I got my bus pass the first week of the orientation as well. The college provided, and they gave a whole process of how things work and all. But then sometimes I just felt that the people who I stayed with, they came the same way. They came
Yeah.
as internationals as well. I understand that maybe at their time it was different, but I think you could have guided me through, just this small.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, but I still appreciate that at least they gave me a week
Place to stay.
with them. At least I had food and water and shelter to stay in. That cold, I don't know where would have gone. But then I was like, that way I'm lucky enough. And within that week only, I got a lady, paying guest lady just nearby my college only. And that's what I wanted. I wanted my college to be short distance.
Mhm.
And maybe for work, I could be traveling. And I just had to travel an hour, 2 hours, I think, to go to work. But that was not like every day.
Wait, you say it so casually. I just had to travel 2 hours.
Yeah, for me, it's not a big traveling. I think my bus, I say, bus is my girlfriend. This bus has helped me to get anywhere and everywhere I wanted to. So I don't, I know a lot of people still say, oh, I have to go in the bus. And I'm like, if you go in the car, you're going to reach in 15 minutes. But if you go in the bus, imagine how many more things you're going to see. Like, a lot of things are getting developed around here. Even right now, if somebody asks me what's a nice place to go and eat and all in downtown, and I will tell them, like, I'll have an answer because I've traveled in the bus. I can say it, bus is still my girlfriend. That's the reason maybe I don't have a license right now as well. Like, that's the reason I'm not getting my second license done, maybe. So yeah, no, but I need to get my license done.
I see the love for the bus is real.
Yeah.
The only time I've traveled in the bus when I was on campus at my university, but that was just specifically for us to get around the campus. Takes you from like one section of the building to the other. I think the longest bus ride, if you had to go from one end to the second end of the campus, would take you 30 minutes because the bus stops a lot.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I've traveled in the bus. But when you say, oh, travel in the bus, I mean, I see the appeal of the way that you look at it, but I've just never had I'm going to say the opportunity to do so.
It's okay. When you come to Toronto, we'll be driving in the bus.
Okay.
That way.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it was like I was traveling with the bus. So after that, after a week I came here, I got into a paying guest with a family. I did not have a pillow. I did not have a blanket. So here the PG rules are you need to get your own mattress, blanket and everything, right? I did not have that at all. And that first night, because they didn't even have an extra one, that first night, I actually put my towel on myself and slept. And I had my backpack, the backpack which has the documents. I had a scarf, so I put it so that it's a bit puffy for me here, and I slept like that. That first night for me was like, where have I reached? I'm like, the whole night I was like literally awake. They didn't even give me the Wi-Fi password because they said that it's not included in the rent or anything. And I was like, okay, so how much does it include in the rent and stuff? So they said like $40, and I'm like, I'll do it. Just give me the Wi-Fi password. Like, I don't mind paying $540 with food, with Wi-Fi. And she gave me the Wi-Fi password. I called home and I told them that I don't think this place is really for me. I need you guys to book my tickets. I want to come back. My grandmom just said one thing, and she said that, why did you go? And I'm like, I thought I'm going to finish my studies. And my dad always had that thing that, my daughter is going to go out to study because, he's like, I didn't get an opportunity to study. I had to like keep myself in family. Like I had to take care of family in a very small age. You have the opportunity to go, like, finish it. You've got there. You just need to struggle just one more bit. Not that they weren't feeling bad. That day when I told them, they literally called my sister in US and they're like, what kind of payest have you got that they don't provide this, that? And my sister was not aware as well that how it works in Canada. I know US and Canada stuff are different. So she called her brother-in-law again and she shouted at them that you guys should know all these things. You know that she's entering a paying guest house. I can't be telling the paying guest people that, provide this. You guys should be knowing. You're telling me you don't have an extra blanket in your house. You don't have an extra pillow in your house. So at that time, even, those 2 days, I literally felt that, is it my fault? These families are fighting. So we had like 3 floors. So one floor was like just fully guys. Then the last 2 floors are just girls. So the girls, I did not have a chance to really speak to them or not because they're coming and going. Like it's like job, work. Study, job, and home. They come sleep and then they leave. They didn't even used to eat in this house. They used to eat outside. They have their tiffin services. Then I asked one of the guys, like, could you please take me to at least buy a pillow and blanket? And he said, you know what? Don't worry. I'll bring it for you when I come back. And he brought for me, and he didn't even take money from me. Can you imagine? And that day he brought me a pizza box, and he's like, "You've come to Canada. You need to try the Canadian pizza." And he brought that Indian style pizza, like Ashiana. Like, God is going to bless you with whatever you want. He's like, "Oh, for now, I want to just get married." And I'm like, "You will get married and you'll have plenty of things." So he doesn't, like, "You've saved my life. You're bringing this food for me."
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing because 2 weeks down, I've not had like proper food. I don't know how things are working. And then luckily, I had that third floor guys that, they taught me how to do things. And then when I got to know the girls also taught me that, this is the bus you take. Go alone. She literally gave me her bus pass.
Mm-hmm.
And she's take this bus. So I went and I had to buy winter clothes as well. And she's like, go to this store, go to that store. And she's like, don't pay this much. I was like, okay, thank God. Like, at least now I can, something's working out for me. There's
Yeah.
someone getting. Yeah. It was a Friday night, I think. Yeah. Friday in the afternoon, I left and I came back Saturday, 4 o'clock in the morning. I
Oh.
was home the entire downtown because they also joined me. They showed me the harbor front. They took me to Toronto Island. They took me near the CN Tower. And I was like, okay, no, Toronto is beautiful, guys. Like, if it's this way in the winter, imagine how it's going to be in the summer. Like,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and then the week or so after, I think I had my orientation, and then I got started with like that whole month I was just home, and I also started working at Subway as well. So I was just busy here and there, and the landlords as well. I got to know them. I got to know that people aren't bad. It's just at the start they'll just be having that
Bad.
guard. Yeah, that we don't know how this person is. How should we open up to them or anything? In fact, after 3 months, the husband and wife came and apologized to me. He's like, it was our fault. We should have given you. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. That's how your rules have been then, why not? So then I started college. Now this came the real part for me. College, work, do your assignments, travel those 2 hours. So that's 4 hours. I did not know how, like the first semester, I was like a mess because I did not know how to plan myself. I was still learning. I remember my first day of the college, my first day of my class I still remember it was fundamentals of marketing. And that guy, the professor is so strict. He didn't allow us inside the class because I was just like 3 seconds late.
3 seconds?
3 seconds, he shuts the door. I felt like, oh God, am I in trouble? And like, if it was Nairobi, I would have like, whatever, come on, just understand and enter inside the class because the lecturers, how they work. But that day, the thing was, that's the first time I saw what Canada storm is. My entire bus, I remember, went like around. That's the day I felt, oh, would it be, you're in reality now. Welcome to Canada for sure now. Because I remember I was back home and my best friend was Googling the snowstorm and the snow skidding cars and all. She's like, wait, look, one day, when you'll get your car, this is how it's going to be. Like, we're just making fun. And that day, the entire bus went like around 2 times. But I think the driver knew what he was doing, of course. Then he told us that you have to get out. Then I had to put in Google Maps. It's cold. It was minus, I think, 17, 18 at that time. And the wind is crazy bad. Like, and that time, I think if I didn't buy a day before my winter jacket, I don't know what I would be doing.
No,
Like,
you would be an icicle.
yeah, I don't know what I would be doing. Just bought like proper winter boots, socks, and thermals and everything. And then we walked. So it was just a walking distance to my class. So I was walking. But the snow was so much that, you're literally stamping your feet and going. So after the class got over, so mind you, that entire class, this 3 guys have left. Me, I've just sat outside the door because I didn't know what to do. I am still new at the institute.
Yeah.
If I go away, this lecturer will think that, I'm not serious for the class. So he finished the class And he's like, I hope you've learned your lesson. Please be on time next time. And I was like, okay. I'm like, that's it? Bro, that's it? Like, really? I thought you were going to, like, tell me you can't take this course or something like that. So then I spoke to him and told him, I'm very sorry for what happened, but there's a snowstorm outside, I'm still new here. I got stuck. He's like, that's not my problem. That's
Oh,
what he told me. And I was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to be, rude to this guy. Because if I wanted to, I would have told him off, like, hello, like, come on. Is it that you don't have feelings in you or something? But I was like, okay, next class. I made sure his next class, I was there when he walks in. And I was sitting at the front itself by purpose that, see me, I am here. I don't know, it just hurt my ego or something like that. So I went and I said, oh, yeah.
I remember the first time that I started school here. It was crazy. The place was huge. I hadn't done my orientation because I had come in a little later. So I was just finding my way through building to building. And then I
Yes.
finally got to which I assumed was the right building. I had to go to my ethics class. And then I walked in and the professor was already teaching. It literally looked like they had been in the class for a while. And it turns out it was right because 5 minutes later, the professor was like, all right, I'll see you guys next week. And I was like, what? It's like the first day of this class. How are we 10 and 5 minutes? And so I looked at the board and it was math equations. And the professor was like, I think you're in the wrong class. And I was like, I think you're right.
Yeah.
He pointed me in the right direction and I walked into my ethics class, the first class ever, 45 minutes later. And I was like, shit. But this ethics professor, he was really, I think it's been my favorite class that I've ever taken, ever, just because of the content and the professor itself. But the first day that I got there, I was really afraid of the professor because he was making it seem like he was really strict, but he was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a favorite memory.
Yeah. I do relate to you. My afternoon classes is where, so basically, it's like we did not know, like in Nairobi, the entire college or institute is in one building, or maybe you just have to walk across. It's not like, there is street and then there are blocks. And then there is a shop as well. There is a shopping center as well. Then there is your institute. Like, I had that kind of, so I had a museum.
Uh-huh.
And then I had the lakeshore people who come walk, jog, and what all. And then I had my class. And then I had a race course at the back. And then the food places. And then again, a huge building of my college. So my mornings is in the huge building. And my afternoon classes is at the back of the lakeshore. So it takes me like 20 minutes just to walk.
Get there.
I made it like this way. You go straight and you go left from my class. And then for food, you go right and you turn left for food. So food and that journey of 20 minutes, I used to eat on the road and go. Plus, remember, we have zebra cross. We have to stop because of the trains going, because of the cars going. And my area was worse as well because there was also pets going. So we had to stop. So we literally, that's the only symbol in entire Toronto I've seen. When we had the men walk on the light, they had a dog walk on the light. So you have to stop if you don't have a pet.
Oh,
You can't walk with them.
damn.
Yeah, that's the only, it's so funny. I even searched it up. I even went different places and now till today, I do look for the light and I do see
Dog
if
lights.
dog symbol, but they say that it's because it's a college area. There's a dorm and all those things. So people do keep pets. So
Maybe that's why.
yeah,
That's
so
still so bizarre.
yeah. So for me, that 20-minute walk, I used to get late always. And I remember it was the Canadian law course, which I had to take up. And that lady was like, as you said, that, they make it look they're strict, but they're not.
Yeah.
But the funny thing here, it comes, I still wear the band of Kenya, right? So she started talking to me in Swahili. And I was like, do you know how good this feels? Like, do you understand how good this feels? So, and then there was like a favoring which started because she understood that I'm from there and she knows how the struggle is. Getting to know, she's also from Nairobi. She was staying in Kangemi sites. Then she moved here like 20 years back.
Wow.
And she became a lecturer. She was studying law and all, but law did not work out here. So she started teaching. And I was like, damn.
That's so, I've not met a single person from Nairobi in the States.
Huh?
Not one. Like, I know, so obviously the people that I know are, my dad's friend moved here. That's
Right.
not counted.
But not a random person.
No.
It's up to
Not,
you.
I assumed that when I went to university, I would meet them. But like the whole University of Illinois, I did not meet anyone, a single person who was from Kenya. I met one from Nigeria. I met one from South Africa. No Kenyans. Zero Kenyans. And zero Kenyan Indians. And it's weird because there's a really large Indian population in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it comes under the top 5 Indian populated cities in America. And Chicago is one of them. So I'd assume that we'd have...
Nairobians should be there.
But it makes sense because a lot of the people that I know in Nairobi usually just go to the UK.
Yeah.
I've not seen anyone move to the States. I've only seen people from India move to the States more so than I have anywhere else. And so I think that's why it made sense to me why I've not seen anyone from Kenya. Because like either they go back to Kenya because who wants to stay in the States, or they're in the UK. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I'm still holding hope to the day that I'm from Kenya. I'm like,
Yeah. But so apparently, funny thing, there's this place North Yorkshire. So there is this apartment on the way. That entire apartment is all Nairobi people.
wow.
All Nairobi people. So one of my cousins stays there. So this was in 2019. That time we didn't know a lot of people, but it's like, he started this trend of him and his other 2 guy friends started this trend. Anybody who's coming from Nairobi, who's from Parklands, who's from Gara, Westland, contact him. He will get you accommodation. So at that point, it became that, not only Indians, even Africans also started contacting him. So to be honest, if you go that, like you'll find it a mini Maasai market. That apartment is a mini Maasai market. Even on the lift, those guys are talking. You'll find all kind of Nairobi. And you can know the Nairobi Swahili.
Yeah.
It's very different. And I think you can just know it that this is a Nairobian.
These are my people.
Yeah. We went to do something on that side and just popped in and I'm like, I'm just telling my husband at that time that, can you imagine this guy is a Nairobi guy? He's like, how do you know that? Now he's been here since 2012. So he's like forgotten that touch of Nairobi somehow. He came back home after 10 years.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So he like literally forgot. He's like, how do you know? So I'm like, I just know. Like, and then I just walked up to them and been like, how are you and stuff and all. He's like, you're from Nairobi? You know that happiness you have?
Yes.
That you find your people, whether it's African or Indian, Nairobian, but that's
Just from anyone from Kenya is my people.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so good. Like that night when I do feel that if I want to really have that feel of Nairobi, I'll go there.
I wish I had a place like that to go to.
That whole apartment, they have like almost 200 units. And from that, I'd say 95% is Nairobi. Whether it's family, whether it's students, most of it is students because their colleges are near. Yeah, just within 3 months, I've got my lecturer who's from Africa, from India, used to get in late. And then 2-3 times she has told me that, don't come late. I'm like, I can't skip my lunch. I have class till 8 now. So how can I skip my lunch? And in between, I can't even, we do have a break, but I can't run 20 minutes again to get food and come back, right?
Yeah.
So she used to understand. And that came with time, it came that, she was like just a chill lady. She's like, as long as your assignment is done, as long as whatever I've asked for is done, I don't really care what you do. I don't even care if you come to the class or not, but I need my email. That's it. And I'm like, oh. So I talked to her and I told her, see, I'm paying my fees and stuff. I'll not be attending because I'm studying my shift. And at that time, I got a shawarma place, that same place which I buy my food from. So for 3.5 hours, I worked there. So she's like, yeah, go ahead, but then just don't tell anybody. And I need my assignments on time. That's it. So I used to finish my class. I remember it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I used to finish my class, the morning class at 11. So from 11 to 3, I used to work at the shawarma place. And then 3:30 to 7, I used to attend another class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when it's 7, I remember then if it's Friday, 8 o'clock, 8 to 12 or 1. Sometimes I even used to do till 4 a.m., depending how it is. I used to go to the subway.
Wow.
And that was like my 2 years, fully continuously 2 years.
That's some
And
real hard work.
yeah, I had to I wanted to be it. Like the reason if I didn't want to work, it's not that, I got a pressure that, work, you have to pay your fee and stuff. But then I just went like, if that money stayed back home, at least those guys can use it. They don't have to struggle extra.
Mhm.
Me, it was that situation. So I'm like, why not? I just pay my own fee. And there came a time where after 1.5 years, I used to earn, I used to send back home as well. I used to have a lavish life even here. And then I used to save as well.
Wow.
Yeah. I think like that college time was like a bit too much for me. Uh, like the struggle, I felt the struggle is real, right? That's not what you
That's
do.
real.
Yeah, that's not what you really, and not a lot with coming time as well. That
Mhm.
how people would be, how I just had that flashback that how our family when they shifted to Nairobi, how it would be for them. If today it's like this for me, imagine how many years they took just to get us this kind of life. And today it's like a whole circle. I felt that maybe God is just telling me that this is this is how your dad went through, and that's how you are. Like I'm a person where I've always thought that I don't care. I'm gonna struggle. Like struggle is written in everybody's life,
Mhm.
but accept that struggle. I would say that like always, I've never been that, oh God, this thing is so hard and all.
Mhm.
I'll just like it's fine. If it even doesn't work out for me, I used to be that person that, I used to be like, oh God, there has been a lot of times when I was in school as well. I just want to go back. Even especially, when summertime comes, nobody used to take classes here in summer. They all used to go back home.
Yeah.
So I took summer class, and those were the main classes which would give me a scholarship.
Mhm.
So I had to like that time, I just used to work Saturday, Sunday because I had to focus on my assignments, projects, exams, and all. But at that time, when my bank balance was low and when I have to keep my credit card, it's like I need to learn how to balance. And I think I learned it in a very hard way. Especially if somebody is coming here in the winter, don't come in the winter because in the winter you don't have a lot of things to do, and like even jobs are hard to get here in the winter because whoever is in the summer they'll continue. So it's like you're like caged up with things like that.
Yeah.
So it was like pretty a process, so studying and covering.
It's nice to see that even despite everything that you've been through, it's not put you down. You're just like back up on your feet, ready to take on the world with bigger gloves now because you've had all the experience and you've gone through all of this stuff that you've just a lot more wiser than you were before.
Yeah, and at that point I just felt that Nairobi life, I say, even I know people will hate me on this. I know they struggle as well. But you guys, you have a maid. You have your family who's there, who's cooking for you. Like I have a couple of friends who are married, but still get food, laundry, and everything done from their parents' house because they know their parents are staying in the house. They have things to be done. Here, I think you have to go to work, you have to come back. Remember, even laundry here is timed. You can't do it before 7 o'clock. There's a lot of rules and regulations with coming of time I had to like follow in there. And when I went back, I used to tell my mom, please put less soap in the clothes. Like small things.
Yeah.
And it made me particular in a lot of things because it brought me value here.
Yes.
Uh, Even now, when I went from here, I took a lot of stuff for my sisters and my friends and everybody. And I remember one of my relatives ended up saying that you've become a Kenyan millionaire in Canada. And I'm like, well, if that's what you think, one day, amen to that.
Yes.
But
Amen to that.
yeah, amen to that. But one day that's where I want to go. I don't know if he meant it in a good way, bad way, whatever, but I know that you know how it is between how within families and all, like it's a bit jealousy is there, like always. So my mom ended up saying to them that whatever she's done, she's not even done it because of like through us or anything. She's done it on her own.
Yeah.
And that day, like, it hit me that one person who would be proud of me would be my father
Yes.
and my grandmom. Okay, my grandmom got to see my success, of course. I graduated and she was in US. Just that I didn't get to meet her because of COVID, of course. And but she saw the success and she was pretty happy. When my mom said that and I'm like, it is true. And today, even my best friend's mom will be like comparing me and my best friend that look what she does this herself and all. Like just putting the chai on the table or something like that, I'll walk and take it and put it. Like, because that's our life here.
Yeah.
We're doing everything on our own. There they have a system, the maid comes, picks up the utensils and, takes it and all. So I just used to be like, I'll just pick my own and put it. Like it's just a regular thing we used to do. So they all used to be like, you've changed, honestly. This is not the girl who we knew.
Who left Kenya?
Yeah, like I never used to cook. I started cooking. The main thing was I never used to eat vegetables. I still don't, but like greens, you've started eating greens and making greens for yourself. That's a very big thing.
That's an
I'm
adult
like,
thing.
so I used to tell my mom that, oh, you're making, like, I don't know. You don't find it a big deal that, I've earned nicely, I've had a nice life, I've settled down. But you're happy because I started eating my vegetables.
Yeah. So do you know you've become an adult when you willingly decide to eat greens and make vegetables for yourself? That's life's way of showing you
Yeah.
you're old now.
Yeah,
You're old now. And that's my cue because my butt is hurting and I'm old now and my knees hurt. And so we're going to go rest them because they deserve to be rested. But thank you so much for joining us today, Unnati.
I'd say thank you for having me.
I'm keeping an eye out on all that you have here and we're out here rooting for you.
Thank you.